and our Way to a Wonderful Life message for today is titled, Attracting the Great Big Things. Attracting the Great Big Things. Now let's be very clear on this. If we are going to demonstrate or manifest anything using spiritual principles, we must get into the spirit of the thing. We must get into the spirit of the thing. Just imagining the experience of having it, living it, possessing it, must cause us to feel a great sense of joy and gratitude. If we don't get ourselves to that point of joy and gratitude, that sense of a feeling of gratitude and joy, then we're not there yet. So we need to keep registering in our mind what it is that we accept for ourselves and begin to expect it in a greater way. Now, there are those who will tell us that in order to demonstrate or manifest the big thing, we must go through a gradual process of demonstrating, manifesting degrees of greater things first. In other words, something a little greater, a little better than what we have now. Now, I don't dispute that this is often where most people may be in consciousness, so that is the best they could hope for, but is there anything great about feeling that something, that excitement for this next better thing? We want to get into the excitement of it, the feeling of it, the gratitude of it, the joy of it. We're going to manifest the next greater thing. We must take it into our mind that that next greater thing is taking us down the path to the great big thing, and get excited. Start feeling a sense of gratitude. We don't get what we want, we get what we expect, and in order to generate the degree of joy and gratitude within our own heart and mind to sustain a level of expectation that causes our good to be made manifest requires more than a compromised desire. We don't want to compromise our desires. We don't say, well, I really want a Bentley, but I'll be okay with a Ford Focus. That's not the way it works. Be grateful for everything along the way, but keep uppermost in your mind that the great big things can be demonstrated too. Let's just know that whatever it is that we're doing, whatever it is that we're thinking, whatever it is that we hold in our heart and our mind as a good desire for ourselves, that idea was put to us, given to us, by something greater than we are. So now we may have a few Fords show up in our experience before we get to Bentley, but these are just rungs on the ladder, so to speak, to the Bentley. And if a Bentley is what we desire, then we should never let go of it in our mind. Never, ever let it go of it in our mind. Let's look at these words from the book Love and Law, the Unpublished Teachings of Ernest Holmes. He didn't write this book. These were taken from his classes. This is transcripts from his classes. We can read, remember, if you want to get a big thing, you have got to expand your consciousness so you would be able to receive a big thing if it were to come to you. In any activity in our affairs and in all those things, we must first enlarge our consciousness by reaching out in mind, in other words, in spirit, more and more and more, realizing that we are dealing with the only power there is, and then trying to feel we are connected with it, and it knows and understands and receives and returns. There is always a reciprocal action between mind and that which is universal and that which is individual, and when it is flowing through you, you must realize you are dealing with the law which cannot not demonstrate. You are not taking any chance. You are not asking any questions. You are not making any supplications. No, you are not making a prayer from the ordinary standpoint of prayer. You are using a power which is, and you have a right to use it, and it will reach right up to your ability to use it. To use it. This is the mastermind. Jesus said, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock on the door of your consciousness and you shall find the door will be opened unto you. So in truth, we are using this power every moment of every day. We are not always conscious of the fact that we are. It is the power that causes us to think, the power that causes us to imagine, the power that causes us to desire, to love, and to feel joy, and all the opposites of these things. If we choose to have feelings of hatefulness and angriness and unhappiness, that's using the same power. We're just using it in the negative. Using it in the negative. That's like the devil in us. That means God upside down. God upside down. That means reversal of the ultimate law of good, which is the law of God. And we know that this was revealed to us thousands of years ago. We can read in the Old Testament and the Torah, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And from the mastermind Jesus, we know it shall be done to you according to your faith. And from the Buddha, we can read, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. We make our world. We don't make the world. We make our world, our own personal world, our own personal experiences. In other words, according to what we believe and expect. Let's go back to Ernest Holmes from the book Love and Law. It, that is, spirit, mind, is limited by our mental concept absolutely, he tells us. While it is the power that makes that planet and everything on it, it makes you and it makes me, when it comes to working in our life individually over our conditions and over our bodies, it can only go in through our consciousness, no other way. And what we want to do is to provide that great big consciousness within. Make our unity with big projects, with big things, with big enterprises. You can never jump away from yourself because don't you know, when you jump, you take yourself right with you, and when you land there, you are. You have got to save yourself, and if the world had realized that years and years ago, the world would not need any more salvation today. No matter how big a thing you have forget it. No matter how big a thing you have got, he says, forget it. It is just as easy to demonstrate a big thing as a little one. The whole thing must be done without a sense of strain, without a sense of strain. God does not struggle. God just knows. Now, Ernest Holmes is telling us in simple words, no matter where you go, there you are. No matter where you go, there you are. And this is the truth for all of us until we make the conscious decision to expand our consciousness. This has always been the truth. If somebody wrote on one of those internet blogs last week that nowhere in the scripture does it tell us that God is going to give us anything greater, that we shouldn't pray to God for money or abundance or for the good things that we desire. That nowhere in the Bible does it tell us that we're supposed to pray that way. But here we go back, all the way back to 1 Chronicles 4:10. This is in the Holy Scriptures, from the prayer of Jabez. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain." So God granted him what he requested. But we know first, Jabez had to believe that there was a larger territory possible for him. He had to believe that. He had to know it. Somewhere within him, he had to know that it was possible. In truth, this is a spiritual reality for whatever it is that we want. That's what God is to do for us. God must do through us, so we must know it. We must believe it. We must have an idea of it in our mind. Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, and that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. So all these people that think, oh, well, there's a prosperity gospel. You know, I don't consider myself a prosperity gospel preacher, minister, whatever. teacher. I teach a philosophy. I teach a philosophy, the same philosophy that Jesus is teaching, the same philosophy you find in the Torah and the Holy Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, the same philosophy that you find all the way back to Plato and Socrates, all the way back to the Buddhas, to Krishna, all these things, these truths, they're eternal truths. Eternal truth. As the man thinketh, so is he. Look how many thousands of years back that was written down. Somebody was inspired to write it, and they did. But that's been around how many years? And still people think, oh, God saved me from this. Oh, Jesus has got to come back and save us all, or all these other things. Or I have to go to a Buddhist retreat and chant for 48 hours so that I can be healed. All these things, we put God outside of ourselves in so many times and in so many ways that we run around living in struggle. We run around living in financial lack. We run around living in illness. We run around living in depression and anxiety and unfulfilled desires. Let's go back. 1 Chronicles 4:10 in the Scripture. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. And first, Jabez had to believe that there was a larger territory. Let's get that clear. Now, the God of Israel, Israel means mankind in the Scripture, means all of us, not limited to Jewish people. So let's look again at the wisdom of Ernest Holmes. He tells us, take something that you feel your mind can encompass, in other words, that you can conceive of, something of which you have a mental cognizance within you now, and then realize that this word which you speak is surrounded by an active power which projects itself around the word, forms the thing which the word embodies, and objectifies it in some way. We do not have to know the way, and in perfect calm confidence and perfect trust in yourself, wait. No matter how big a thing you have got, forget it. It is just as easy to demonstrate a big thing as a little thing. The whole thing must be done without a sense of strain. God does not struggle. How many times do I have to say this until we all accept it and believe it? God does not struggle. God just knows. So when we give a spiritual treatment or an affirmation, or we speak the words of our desire, there should be no sense of strain or strife, but only a sense of calm confidence and perfect peace, which is born of that inner conviction that knows that besides me there is none other. Besides me there is none other. You can read that in the book of Isaiah, in the ancient wisdom of the Holy Bible and the Torah. Besides me there is none other. There's only one power, one intelligence, one spirit, one presence. That's God, infusing its spirit within each and every living thing. So since there is nothing to oppose our word, since it is the word which is all, it does not have to struggle. We feel we are using the one power there is. We believe and we know that our word which is spoken forth into this power is the law of good. Saying this here and now, we know there is nothing that can hinder it. With perfect confidence, let us each take that thing which we are working on. Whatever that thing is, I have my thing. I know you have a thing. We all have a thing. I am thinking of the thing I am working on for myself, a great big thing. I feel that my consciousness is big enough to realize what it is, to know that what is mine to have, and it's mine to have that thing. I feel that my mind can give birth to it. I can conceive of it. I can see it. I have a sense of it. And so I know that the word which I am speaking now is the law of this thing. I can just feel it surrounded by infinite intelligence and power. I know that this word that I can feel, is backed up by infinite life. That the very presence of that power and life which permeates this word is enough to destroy every race consciousness that exists, that contradicts it, to destroy every thought which negates it, or which is a suggestion of limitation or lack. This word is the law of immediate activity in this thing, Realize that this is the law that says it now. It is the law of perfect harmony. There are no obstructions in its path. Nothing can obstruct it, neither people, places, or things, because none of those can intercept it. It is done now. Perfect harmony, causation, perfect activity, divine intelligence is leading, guiding that law of perfect attraction in you and me, which is the Spirit of the Almighty in each and every one of us, because we believe. We know that it is going out and drawing that thing back to us just as we speak the word, instantaneously. We know that our word is one with the infinite mind, the infinite spirit. We feel that that word has become a universal word. We let our consciousness go out as we realize that we are one with all life, with all people, with all things, with all mind and spirit. Spirit is mind, spirit is intelligence, spirit is power. Just feel that you have passed this whole thing over to the infinite power and just feel that it is being taken up and done. We have no personal responsibility. Oh, that sounds interesting, huh? We have no personal responsibility. We're not going to make it. We don't have the power, the chemistry to draw it to us on our own. But that infinite power, that infinite intelligence, that infinite spirit that infuses life into everything, has formed everything, knows how to do it. So we release our word and know that that word does not return into us void. It says we would release a seed into fertile soil and know that it will grow into something. We leave it. We wait. We let it become mature. We let it go through the process of growth. Just feel that you have passed this whole thing over to the infinite power and just feel that it is being taken up and done. Take no personal responsibility for it. But many people say, oh, I don't have the faith. I don't have the faith. I guess I don't believe strong enough. That's taking personal responsibility. Don't do that. You're releasing your word into universal intelligence, universal power, universal spirit. And it reigns supreme throughout the universe. It has formed everything that we can see, everything that our eyes can see. So it can form and attract to us that good desire that we have for that great big thing without us taking any personal responsibility or getting in the way. And we know that beyond it all is this infinite intelligence and power and the love of the Spirit, the God of all life, all life and all activity and all power and all love and all attraction, the irresistible power of the Spirit which sweeps before it everything and knows all and knows that it is done. And knows that it is done. That's amazing. It's amazing. Let's get into the wonder of it all. Look out. Look out into the world in which you live. Look around you. The chair that you sit in, the sofa that you sit on, the bed that you sleep in, the clothes that are on your body right now, the clothes that are in your closet, the car that you drive, the cars on the car lots all across the world. Everything was first an idea in mind before it came into form. Somebody had to think it. Somebody had to think it and believe that it was possible. So let's go back to these words from the beginning. Let's be very clear on this. Underline this in your mind. If we are going to demonstrate or manifest anything using spiritual principles, we must get into the spirit of the thing. Just imagining the experience of having it, living it, possessing it must cause us to feel a great sense of joy and gratitude. Whatever it is, if the thought of having a Bentley stirs up the joy and gratitude within you, and you start imagining yourself with such a thing, then ask for it. Say, I do have this. I do have a Bentley, the charcoal gray with pewter-colored leather interior. I get to sit in the back while my driver sits in the front, really get into it. I get to wave at the people, keep staring at my Bentley as I drive along the street. Get into it. Get your mind into it. Get into the spirit of it. How many people know how to change the tire on a Bentley? I don't. But I could learn, I guess. Well, let's go back to Dr. Ernest Holmes. This is from his book, Love and Law, the Unpublished Teachings of Ernest Holmes. Remember, if you want to get a big thing, you have got to expand your consciousness so that you would be able to receive a big thing if it were to come to you. Then any activity in your affairs and in all those things, you must first enlarge your consciousness by reaching out in mind more and more and more, realizing that we are dealing with the only power there is, and when trying to feel we are connected with it, and it knows and understands and receives and returns. There is always a reciprocal action between mind and that which is universal and that which is individual. And when it is flowing through you, you must realize you are dealing with a law which cannot not demonstrate. You are not taking any chance. You are not asking any questions. You are not making any supplications. Don't get on your knees. No, you are not making a prayer from the ordinary standpoint of prayer. You are using a power which is, and you have a right to use it, and it will reach right up to your ability to use it, your ability to use it. Say to yourself every day, if you can, if you're not willing to or ready to be focused on something, just keep saying good and more good is mine and ever increasing good is mine. Everywhere I go, I get a sense of having this good, realizing this good, enjoying this good, possessing this good, whatever it may be, and something good will show up. It's better if we can be specific, but if we can't be specific, affirm the all good. Affirm the all good. Get your consciousness ready to receive. Start seeing yourself having the great big thing. Remember these words from the Old Testament and the Torah, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And from the Mastermind Jesus, it shall be done to you according to your faith. And from the Buddha we can read, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts we make our world. We make our world. So just feel you have passed this whole thing over to the infinite power, intelligence, and spirit of God. and just feel that it is being taken up and done. That you send out your word, and your word does not return unto you void, but comes back to you in the form of that thing in which you desire. And remind yourself every day you have no personal responsibility except to expect it, to get a sense of gratitude and joy in having it and experiencing it, whatever it may be. It may not be a material thing. It may just be a sense of things. Or it may be a material thing, like a healthy body, a healthy bank account, freedom, the right career, the right talent and hands, whatever it may be. So the God of all life and activity and all power and all love and all attraction, the irresistible power of the Spirit which sweeps before it everything and knows all and knows it is done, responds to you. So there we have it. Right this moment, begin to know that you are one with the infinite mind and Spirit of God. Right this moment, get into the spirit of the great big thing that you desire and let your divine imagination cause you to feel the joy, to feel the gratitude of having it right now. And so it is, and so it is. So once again, I want to thank you.